Y'all, I am back. I don't know what happened, but the devil was trying to work tonight, but I'm not going to let him. So I had to restart. It kind of like kicked me out, but I had to restart. So let me tune some people in, get some people tuned back in so we can get started. Hopefully I can get Miss Michelle in as well. It should be a little better. I don't know what's going on. Hi, Olive. Let's see. Let's see. But the devil is trying to work tonight, but I'm not going to let him. So I had. Let me see if I can get Miss Michelle in. Miss Cheryl. Hi, Red. Trying to get Miss Cheryl in. I'll be getting started, y'all. I'm trying to get Miss Cheryl in really quick. Now I'm live. Doing too much. Okay. Y'all give me a second. I'm trying to get Miss Cheryl into the live, but like I said, for those of you all who are just joining me, I am tonight we will be speaking on the violence, on gun violence that's plaguing the country. And tonight we will be featuring the story of Mr. Walter Ray Jackson, who was murdered in New Orleans, Louisiana in 2015. As of today, his death is still unsolved. So tonight, his mother will be joining me shortly, and we will be speaking on his death. And we will get into tonight. Also, she has a foundation that helps other mothers cope, and it's called A Mother's Cry. And we're going to get into that also tonight. So I'm waiting to get her in. Let's see. Let's see if I could tag her. Okay. So I'm going to wait for her to join us. Hello. Hi, Queen. Thank you for your patience. Hi, Lacey. I'm just getting things set up, and I'm trying to get Miss Cheryl on. Let me try to turn this thing on. Trying to get Miss Cheryl tuned in tonight. This is going to be a very powerful conversation. Okay. So I'm kind of waiting for Miss Jackson to tune in. I don't see her as of yet. I don't know if it's a delay in this or what's going on. Hi, Miss Jackson. I'm waiting for you on the Facebook Live.
Okay, I'm coming on now.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay. She'll be here shortly in a second, y'all. Just bear with me. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble in Facebook land here lately. I can't wait to get back into the studio next week where I don't have to go through so much. So I'm going to get Miss Jackson. Okay. Hello. Hi, beautiful.
Hi, gorgeous.
How are you?
I'm fine, and yourself?
I'm good. It looked like the sun shining down there.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. What
Yes, it
time of
is.
day is it? What time of day is it there?
5:32.
Wow. Y'all still got sunlight. We still got it's getting dark here a
What
little
time?
bit.
What time is that?
Dang. It is what? It's 6:35. Six,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Yep, we not too far off. But I had started the first live video and then I got cut off. I don't know what's going on with the universe and Facebook tonight, but I'm not going to let the devil win over this. Um, I kind of like got a little bit into your story. First of all, I want to thank you for sharing your son's story as well as your story as the warrior as you are. I want to thank you for sharing your story on my platform.
You're
And
welcome. Thanks for having me.
just the little time that we talk, you are very powerful. And I believe that
Thank you.
um, a lot of moms, a lot of families would benefit from you. And just this this is one of those clubs, right, that don't nobody want to belong to. You didn't sign up for
Exactly.
this. You didn't sign up for this. It didn't come with instructions on how to deal with this sort of thing.
Exactly.
So it's, I guess, a lot advocating for the missing and murdered. I come across a lot of families, and I come across some moms that I talk to, all the time, that are grieving so bad till they can't sleep.
Exactly.
Some of them have, turned to prescription medication to be able to cope,
Exactly.
and I was telling my audience that you lost your son back in 2015. And the story is very heartbreaking, just like all of the others. So, first of all, I want you to introduce yourself and tell us about your son,
I
Walter.
am Cheryl Michelle Jackson. My son name was Walter Ray Jackson. He was murdered in 2015, January the 4th. Walter was a kind person. Walter was a loving person. Walter didn't have an enemy in this world that I knew of. If anybody had a problem with Walter, they was the one with the problem. Walter was the type of person who would give you the shirt off of his back, you know. And my son was a good child, well respected, very respectful. And for somebody to gun him down like an animal, that's a hurtful thing. And it's very hurtful, you know. He was my oldest child, you know. He was a mama's boy also. And that's something I have to live with for the rest of my life. My child is
Yes.
gone. My child gone. Don't know why, don't know who, you know. And like I said, it took me 5 years to accept that he was gone. This year made 6 years. January 4 made 6 years that he been gone. But it took me 5 years to accept his death. And I had to release him.
Mm.
I had to release him because it was affecting with my health. You know, I couldn't function right. I just wanted to just get up and go somewhere and don't never come back.
Mm, mm,
The day they
mm.
took my son, the day they took my son, they took half of my heart with him. They took part of me with him. And this is why after they took him, I started this organization on Mothers Cry. We are a group of women that lost loved ones to gun violence. And
Right.
it's sad that we all have to meet on this occasion, but
Mm.
we are there for other mothers that's walking in the same shoe as us. You know, and the hurting thing about it, you know, my child gone and there's no justice,
Right.
no
I want
suspect.
to, not to cut you off, but I want to talk about um the night that you got that phone call. Or did you get a phone? Was it a phone call or was it a knock at the door?
No, it was a phone
When
call.
did you receive that horrible news?
That was the worst night of my life. My world was turned upside down. That's the worst call a mother could get. I remember that night like it's yesterday, you know, and it was around about 10 o'clock, 10:45, something like that. And I just got out the bathtub and I got a cold chill. And I said, ooh, maybe it's just because I just got out the tub. And all of a
Hmm.
sudden I heard somebody say, Ma. And I'm like, how Walter get in my house and my door locked? And I heard his voice again, Ma. And I'm like, how you get in my house, you know? So after I heard the voice the second time, this bright orb flashed in front of me. And I said, oh, that's my guardian angel. That's either my mother or my grandmother. When that bright orb flashed in front of me, my phone rang. And I pick up the phone, and the girl on the other end says, Cheryl called to tell you Walter been shot. And when she
My
said that,
God.
I said, my child dead. She said, I don't know if he dead. I said, I'm telling you, he dead. My child is dead. That night, and I got out there on the scene, and all I could see him just laying in a car.
Mm.
They didn't want to let me identify him or anything. I believe my baby girl got out there before I did, and she identified the body. But they didn't want me to see him at all. And my child was shot 15 times,
My God.
sitting in a car. What type of person would shoot an unarmed man sitting in a car 15 times? It wasn't just one shooter, it was two shooters. They ambushed my child. He bringing a friend of his to give her a ride to go pick up her baby. And when she get out the car to go inside, they ambushed my son. He didn't have a chance. And I just pray to God that the first bullet that hit him killed him.
Mhm.
I just pray that the first bullet hit him killed him. But and I believe the first bullet that hit him, that's when he hollered his mom. He hollered for his mama. I couldn't save him. I couldn't protect him. I couldn't shield him. Because if I had to save my son and protect my son, I would have took all 15 of those bullets from my child. I would take a bullet for any one of my kids. I couldn't help it. And I heard his voice clear as day twice. Mom, mom. And I'm like, how did he get in my house and my door locked? But he was calling his mama for help. and I couldn't
mm,
reach out
mm.
to him to help him. There was nothing I could do to help my child. There was nothing he could do to help himself. What kind of man would shoot another man that's unarmed sitting in a car 15 times? They're cowards. Who gives anybody the right to play God to take somebody else's life?
Was this one of those, isolated situations? Not really isolated, but was this a situation where, your son, was just in the wrong place or the wrong time? Do they know, or was he targeted?
Well, they really don't know if he was targeted or if he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. No, I believe he was targeted. He was targeted.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no doubt in my mind that he wasn't. Yes, he was. But you know what? They could run from the police, they could run from the crime, but they cannot run from God.
That's right.
Because,
That's
because
right.
everybody have a conscience.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody have a conscience. You're a liar if you say you don't have no conscience. And the thing about him is, Rose, the night of the crime, I don't know how I got up under that yellow tape without anybody seeing me. And I just stand there. I couldn't move. I was numb. I couldn't cry. I couldn't do nothing but just stare at him
Just
laying in that
there.
coat.
Mm-mm-mm.
I couldn't cry. I couldn't move. My body was numb. And all I could say, I can't believe this. Not my child. They couldn't have paid me $1 million to tell me my son was going to be murdered.
Mm-mm-mm.
I would have told them, keep your money, not my water. Not my water. Even I've been fighting for justice for 6 years. Even if I get the justice, what are they going to give them? 20 to life? When my
Right.
child have no more life? My child have no more life. But he have eternal life with God. He had his eternal life with God. Like I said, they took his life, but they did not take his soul.
That's right.
They did not take his soul. My son did not deserve that. And I don't care how long it takes me. I'm going to keep on walking and keep on talking until I get justice for my son. Not just for myself, for other mothers also.
That's right. That's right.
I'm not just thinking about myself. I think about other mothers. Every time I see a mother post their loved ones on Facebook, my heart gets heavy. My heart gets heavy. You never know when they're going to knock at your door. And I just want to say to all the mothers and fathers, before your daughters and sons walk out that door, give them a hug, give them a kiss. Tell them you love them, because you never know if they ain't coming back or not.
That's right.
You never know if they're going to come back or not.
That's right.
We're living in a cold, cold world. See, the devil is busy. He got his demons out here doing his work for him. His demon is taking our children, killing our children on the street like animals.
Mm-hmm.
Satan come in all shapes and forms. Everybody smiling in your face is not your friend.
It's not your friend. That's right, Miss Jackson.
It's not your friend. Your friends
Mm-hmm.
get a man want to set you up or kill you. It's not your friend. Your friends is your dollar bill and your family. And see, another thing, they say it takes a village to raise a child, like the neighborhood. They took that word neighbor out of hood.
That's right. That's
And they
right.
just call it the hood now.
Mm-hmm. They just call it the
They need
hood
to put
now.
that word neighbor back with hood to make it a neighborhood, so it could become a neighborhood again, so that neighborhood become a village. It takes a village to raise a child, but you got to get the neighborhood back.
Got to get the neighborhood back. Back in the day, I'm a child of the 70s. I was born in the 70s, and we had villages full of villagers. You know what I'm saying? We have villages full of villagers. I advocate for murders now that happened when I was a little girl. And because I got a chance to be a child, to be a kid, even growing up in the projects, I had a childhood. And because of that, advocating for these cases, I look at them and I be like, oh my God, I can't believe that this happened when I was a kid because I never even noticed it because I was able to be a kid.
Exactly. Just like I heard somebody say one day, where I was born and raised at and grew up at, they called the neighborhood where I come from the hood. That could never be no hood.
Right.
That could never be no hood. That's gonna
Mm-hmm.
always be a neighborhood because that place was a village. It was a neighborhood first, then it became a village because
Mm-hmm.
everybody looked after everybody's children down there. If somebody parents see you doing something in the street, you don't have no, they're gonna discipline you. And when you get home, your parents gonna discipline you. So the neighborhood that I come from never was a hood. It
Yeah.
was a village. Everybody looked out for one another. And everybody had one other back. You
Mm-hmm.
fight, you go home, then you come back and you shake hands. Nowadays, they fight, they get beaten, they want to pull out a gun and retaliate.
And retaliate. Yeah.
You're a coward, you hide behind a gun. If you bad enough and man enough to take someone's life, be man enough and bad enough to turn yourself in and do the time.
That's right.
And do
That's
the time.
right. You
And
know,
I hate when people tell me, oh, it was his time to go. No, it was not his time to
yeah.
go. God would have never took my child like that. An enemy took him, and the enemy was Satan. And like I said before, they took his life, but not his soul. Because God would have never took him like that. I could see if my son was sick. God would have prepared me for that day. When he called him on home, God would have had me prepared. I could see if he was in a tragic accident. I could have
Mm-hmm.
accepted that.
Right.
I could have accepted him getting killed in an accident. I could have accepted him dying, being sick. But getting murdered?
Getting murdered.
No. And when they say, oh, he was killed, no, he wasn't killed. He was murdered. Because getting killed to me is getting killed in an accident, having a freak accident. That's how you get killed.
Right.
But if for somebody to put 15 bullets in you, that's cold-blooded murder. That's cold-blooded murder. When
You
I
know, another thing I hate is when people put a time on parents, for how long they should grieve. You know what
Ain't
I'm
no
saying?
time
I
limit.
hate that. I hate
That,
that.
that, Ms. Rose, there's no time limit. There
Mm-hmm.
is time limit. Because when that feeling come on you, there's no turning it off like a light switch.
Right.
When that feeling come on you, you gotta wait it out. And I don't wish this on my worst enemy. That feeling came on me yesterday. And all I can do is talk to my God and listen to my gospel music. But you have to wait till that feeling get off of you. Any mother that gone through what I'm going through, they know what I'm talking about. Because you don't know my pain, you don't know my praise.
That's right.
And I hate when people try to criticize the mothers and, just let it go, put it in God's hand. I'm going to tell you,
Mm-hmm.
I put it in God's hand since day one. Since day one, I put it in God's hands. And God put me on this mission to fight for justice for my son. God put me on this mission to start this organization so other mothers can come in and fight for justice for their loved ones. They've been in God's hands since day one. And God always walked with me. He walks with me. He don't walk beside me. He don't walk behind me. He walks with me. I talk to my God every day. And I know God want to give me my justice. He's not going to give it to me when I want him to give it to me. He want me to help other mothers first before he give me my justice.
Miss Jackson, when did you get to that point where you had the strength to be able to help others?
I got to that point. Walter got murdered January 15. I had like 3 stop the violent march for him. It's 2015. It was in after his birthday, March of 2015. That's when I say I want to start an organization. So it was like around March 15 or something that I started the organization of 2015. And I did the third Stop the Violent March, you know. And I'm like, too many of us mothers losing our kids to the streets. You know, that's a solution to every problem. Everybody see the killing is not gonna never stop. Oh, it can stop. It
Yeah.
can stop if everybody come together. If everybody speaks up. If you know something, say something. You know.
I follow a lot of the crime, all over our country. I know that due to gun violence this year, just in these 2 months, we have lost over 5,000 people in this country due to gun violence. I know that Louisiana, New Orleans, some parts are very, crime stricken.
Yes.
How is dealing with that has been, after Hurricane Katrina? Like, was it worse, with the crime before Hurricane Katrina or after?
It was worse than before Katrina. Oh yes, ma'am. It was worse than before Katrina.
Hmm.
It really was. It was worse than before Katrina.
Wow.
And I feel I believe it's getting back that way. You know,
Mm.
it's like every day someone getting killed down here. They're like every minute, every second of the hour, someone getting killed. And the thing about it, innocent children losing their lives, babies, innocent adults losing their lives. Really have no names. People
No.
don't have value on nobody's life. They just doesn't value nobody's life anymore. They shoot through a crowd. Don't care who. If their target is in the crowd, they're just gonna shoot. Don't care who they're gonna hit. It doesn't value anybody. Like just last night, a 3-year-old girl got shot. A 3-year-old baby walking with her daddy
Just
got shot
last night, Miss
last
Jackson.
night. Yes, 11 o'clock last night, a 3-year-old baby got shot. You
Oh
know,
my God.
and you never know when they're gonna knock at your door. You
Mm.
never know.
I tell people all the time that no one is exempt.
No
No
one.
one is exempt, and people don't understand that. And I don't know what it's going to take. A lot of times it takes for that thing to come knocking on your door,
And
right?
some a lot of kids out here is not bad kids. Some of them just not getting their love from home, and they're going out in the street from their friends looking for their love, and they're getting it from the wrong places, the wrong people, and some of them just being followers. They just
Hmm.
being followers, just want to be loved,
Right.
and some of these youngsters out here, you know, it's okay to be friends with your children, but you got to be a mother first, then be a friend.
Hmm.
You have to be a father first, then be a friend. Because if you was a
Hmm.
friend first and then you're a mother, and if you was a friend first and then you're a father, they're gonna look at you as their buddy and as their friend, not as a mother or a father. But you got to be a mother and a father first, and then become their friends. Then I have enough men out here mentoring these young men.
Yes.
They
Yes.
need mentors.
Hmm.
Young ladies too, because lately a lot of young ladies been getting murdered. These young ladies want to be out here with these young boys and stuff, ride and die, you know, and they get
Right.
caught up in all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're just getting caught up in all kind of stuff with these young boys.
Mm-mm-mm.
I,
What
I
is your what is your take on What What is your take on mental health and balance?
Mental health. My take on mental health, a lot of people don't believe depression is real.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't believe depression is real. They have a lot of people walking around here looking just as normal as you and I, but
Mm-hmm.
they're very depressed and they need help. They're mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
And they figure some people don't like talking about it. Because they figure if they talk about it with someone, oh, ain't nothing wrong with you, or you just ain't mad, or you crazy, blah, blah, blah. Depression is real because you never knows what's on a person's mind.
Right.
That's why so many people committing suicide.
Yeah, it was a large number. We lost over 60,000 people last year, 2020. 18,000, over 18,000 of those people died by gun to suicide.
Yes, when this first happened to my son, I just wanted to give up. I ain't gonna lie, I had suicide thoughts.
What made you not though? What made you say, what made you just say, I'm not going to give up and I'm going to create this foundation, a mother's cry, and turn my pain into fight to help others? What
What
made
made
you what
me
made you get to this point? Because like I said, I work with a lot of families, and
put them
when I see strong moms like yourself, you know what I'm saying? I can't even imagine losing a child. Just the thought of it, it makes me want to cry. It makes me want to cry because I don't know what I would do. But to see a mom so strong, strong enough to turn that pain into fight, you
well, number
know,
one, I was like, when it first happened, I was like going in and out of the hospital, in and out of the hospital. And the last time I went in the hospital, the doctor was like, Miss Jackson, ain't nothing we could do for you. He said, you're just grieving yourself to death. He said, it's nothing no more we could do for you. And what made me turn around when the nurse came into my room, the nurse told me, she said, did you say you want justice for your son? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, well, how are you going to get justice for your son if you die? She said, because it's
mm,
nobody going to fight the way you going
woo,
to fight. She said, I don't want to see you in this hospital anymore. She said, you say you want to fight for justice? Get out there and fight for justice for your son. And I looked at her and said, ma'am, you sure is right. You is right. Because it took me 5 years.
mm-hmm,
5 years I didn't accept his death. I was grieving myself to death, holding on to him. And I had to release him and let
right.
him go. I had to let him go. But I wasn't gonna give up on fighting for justice for him. So when I got out of the hospital, I said, Father God, you gotta give me the strength. You gotta give me the strength. I look at my son's picture, I said, Mama not giving up. Mama is not giving up.
Not giving
I
up.
tell people, when I tell people that I talk to my son picture, my son comes to me in my dream. My son can't tell me my dream one time. He said, Mama, don't give up. And that's what made me want to fight even harder. Mama,
Mm,
don't give up.
mm,
I
mm, mm,
cannot give up. The women in my organization, I get strength from each and every one of those women. I get my strength from each and every one of those women also. I look on Facebook, I see other mothers. Some of them I know, some of them I don't know. I get my strength from them because they're gonna look up to me by me being the president of a mother's cry. They're gonna look up to me to see how strong I am.
right, right.
If they see me as a weak person and want to lead an organization, they're not gonna want to follow me.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be strong. And I talk to my God every day, each and every day. I ask my God, give me the strength. I didn't want to be here no more. I really didn't. That was time my family gonna hear this for the first time. I wanted to go jump in the river, do anything. I just didn't want to be on this earth anymore. because half of my heart was gone.
Mm-hmm.
You took my child.
Yeah.
Somebody that I carried 9 months and brought into this world, a blessing that God gave me,
Gave
you're
you.
going to
Yeah.
take it away? And I just want
What
to ask the persons when they do catch the person that is responsible for his murder, I want to look them in the eye and ask them why. Why? I might not never get the answer because they probably don't know why themselves. I just want to
what
know
does
why.
what does justice look like for you?
Well, right now it don't look too good for me right now. But if I was against justice, I would have that closure. I would have that closure,
Mhm.
knowing that the person is responsible for my son's murder is behind bars. Who to say they didn't do it to someone else's child?
For somebody else's child. Yeah.
Even though if I get that justice and get that closure, the pain is still gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
Pain will never go away. That's a hole in my heart that will never be filled. So even if I get them justice, that pain is still gonna be there. But I have a weight lifted off my shoulder, knowing that the person is responsible for his murder is behind bars.
Yes.
And I can have the opportunity to ask them and look them in the eye, why? What did he ever do to you? Do you know him?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know him? Walter
Mm-mm-mm.
wasn't no violent person. I could see if my son was a violent person out here on the street. I could see if my son was out here gang banging, selling drugs. You know, I could expect something like that to happen. And you out here gang banging, you selling drugs on the two ways out. The
That's
graveyard
right.
in jail.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't doing none of that. He wasn't doing none of that. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
deserve to get gunned down like somebody hunting an animal. Not one person,
15
two,
times, Miss
15
Jackson.
times.
15
That's, o-
times.
that's overkill. That's overkill. That's really overkill, 15 times.
It's mothers that's experiencing this type of thing that you're going through right now. You're a part of this club, right? That you didn't ask to be a part of, that no parent wants to be a part of. There are in Chicago, for instance, every 15 hours someone is murdered.
I seen
And
that video.
every 3 hours and 26 minutes, someone is shot.
I
Speak to those mothers out there that's experiencing this right now.
I would like to tell them, don't give up on your loved one. Keep on fighting. If you gotta march to the police station, you gotta go to the police station. Call the detectives every day. I used to call the detective every day. Every day I used to call the detective every day. And if he didn't answer the phone, I used to go to the office and sit and wait till he come in the office. I used to call him every day. Every day. I select up on calling him. I still calls him. And he promised me, said, Miss Jackson, Walter case will never be a cold case. His case is still open. And I want to tell the mothers, don't ever give up on your loved one.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on fighting. If you got to march by yourself, if you have to fight by yourself, don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Because I am my son's keeper. I'm not giving up. With every ounce of brain in my body, I'm going to continue fighting for
No
justice
one
for
is going
loved
to be
ones.
able to advocate for your son well more than you are.
Exactly.
Sometimes
Exactly.
we have to be their advocates.
And I know some mothers are not strong enough to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Some mothers not strong enough to go on. I just want to tell them, you strong. You got that strength. Put your head up high and look up to the sky. Say, Father God, help me. Give me the strength. And God gonna help you. Don't give up. And don't ever feel like you're a lone ranger, because you're not. You're not. You're not in this alone. I might not know you, never talk to you, but I am your sister. I am your sister. Anything you want to know, anything you need, anything I can do to help, just hit Sherry Michelle Jackson up on Facebook. And I had mothers call me from Atlanta, from St. Louis, from Missouri. Miss Felicia, I spoke with her.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke with another mother on day before yesterday. She sent me her son. This is how I make the videos with our loved ones. She asked me to put her son picture in my video. And the reason why I does that, Miss Rose, because I would not let our children name die in vain.
That's right. That's
I would
right.
not let our children name die in vain. And
That's
that's why I'm
right.
making videos of our loved ones. Because you never know who's going to see them videos and say, oh, I remember him. Oh, I remember her. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so there's such a thing. You never know.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep our kids' name out there in that light. I want to keep our kids' name alive. Their name will not die in vain. Not my
I'm,
son, not nobody else loved ones. And
yeah.
that's why I make those videos of our loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
To keep our
I know that we are going to get into your organization, A Mother's Cry, when we interview in studio. But tell the people about A Mother's Cry and some of the services that it offers.
But a mother's crying, like I said, we are a group of women that lost loved ones to gun violence. We do stop the violent marches. We do candlelight visual. We do like stop the violence family day and implore for everybody to come together and just have a nice time to let the young kids see they can have fun without being scared to play outside.
We
You
play
know,
outside, yeah.
and we have did code of parents with some mothers. You know, whatever a mother need us for, we there. We there. And everything that we does, we come out of our pocket and do it ourselves. You know. And it's just a lot of things we does and done, you know, but we just don't post it on Facebook because this is not for no flow show. This is not for no popularity. This is not for
Right.
no competition. This is real life. You know. So we did a lot and we just post it on Facebook. And since the pandemic, every year we have a Mother's Cry on dinner. The day before Mother's Day, every year we have a
Mhm.
Mother's Cry dinner, you know. So we was unable to do anything last year, you know. So we're gonna try to squeeze something in this year. I've been called to ask to do a Stop the Violence March for Victim Week in April. So
Mhm.
we're putting that together in April. We're gonna do a Stop the Violence March, but I'm planning on having this Mother's Cry dinner this year for Mother's Day because we do it every year. And
Mhm.
last year we couldn't do it because of the pandemic, you know. But
Yeah.
whatever a mother need us for, we there, you know.
Yeah.
We there.
What if you can change some things right now and make things better, what do you think it would take to put a curve in this violence?
Um, well, you know what? It, if I could change some things, what would I change? To be honest with you, I don't think I would change nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would change nothing. What can I change? What can I do? I cannot stop the violence.
Right.
You know, I cannot
Mm-hmm.
stop the murders.
Mm-hmm.
What can I change?
Yeah.
But it can. It might not can stop all the murders, but it's a way to slow it down.
To slow it down. Yeah.
That's a solution to every problem.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no such thing as it's never gonna stop.
It's never going to stop. That's right. Mm-hmm.
No such
I
thing.
think, I think that, we put too many emphasis on too many different things. Like, when George Floyd and all of the people were murdered by the police. We filled the streets up. We filled the
Exactly.
streets up. We burned down stuff. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? We did all of those things, but we don't put a lot of emphasis on things when
On black on
our
black crime.
babies, our children are being gunned down in the street.
Exactly. Because when we have our Stop the Violent March, I'm be honest, we have a handful of people marching with us. And like
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
if it was a policeman killing a black man, the whole city would be out there. This is
Mm-hmm.
Black Lives Matters. Why not get out there and march when it's black on black crime? And you see,
Right.
the policemen don't have to kill us anymore because they're doing a good job their own self, killing their own self. So the police don't have to kill them no more. They just sit back and let them kill themselves.
Right.
You know, if a black man get killed on the street, I guess the police, he's just another statistic.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's black on black. So why not get out there and protest the black on black crime like you get out there and protest when the police be not kill a black man?
They don't want to address that elephant in the room. And I bet you some people feel some kind of way, just by you calling it black on black crime. I had people trying to come for me every time I mention it as black on black crime, but I've always called it what it was.
It's
That's
real.
exactly what it was.
It's
That's
real.
exactly what it is. You know what I'm
It,
saying?
it's
And
real.
until, yeah, we don't never want to address that elephant
Exactly.
in the room, and that's why these situations are not getting no better.
And see, God forbid me if it happened to their loved one, then they're gonna want somebody to get out there and protest and march for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So why not do it before it happens to you? Because you never know when they're gonna knock at your door.
Right. Right.
Black lives matters. Get up there and fight for black lives. Not
Mm-hmm.
just because the police not took a black life. Fight when a black life take a black life.
That's
Fight when
right.
a black life killing young babies out here, innocent children, innocent people getting murdered. Fight about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I say, and also hold these elected officials accountable because it's we the people. We elect these people. You know what I'm saying? We elect these judges. We elect these people that run our country. And we're going to have to start making them put more emphasis on these crimes and, creating more crime bills. I know a lot of people are going to feel some kind of way because I said that, but what do we have to protect the victims? It's like,
Nothing.
yeah, we don't have nothing to protect the victims. It's almost as if these people are basically getting away with murder.
You know why? Like I said, they took the word neighbor out of neighborhood. And they're looking at the neighborhood now just as hood.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at it just as a hood.
Yeah.
But you got to put that word neighbor back into neighborhood, like I say.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a hood, it's a neighborhood.
It's a
See, they take
neighborhood.
that
That's
word
right.
out. They take that word neighbor out of neighborhood. And they're going to
That's
look at it
right.
like a hood.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're looking at it like, a hood.
Yeah.
Put the word back. That's making a neighborhood again. And when you make it
Mm-hmm.
a neighborhood again, then we can have our village, where our
That's
children will
right.
be raised in the village. Protect our young babies, our young girls, our young men. Let's protect them. I'm trying to make this world a better place for when my grandchildren grow up. Day tomorrow I die, one thing they can say, my grandmother was fighting for
That's
justice. Mother
right.
was
That's
fighting
right.
and trying to make things right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared for my grandchildren.
Yeah.
I'm afraid for my grandchildren. We live in
It's
a cold,
horrible.
cold world.
Yeah,
Look
we
at all these
do.
missing babies, missing young girls coming up missing. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all these young girls coming up missing. Every time
All
you
of
look
these
down
kids.
on Facebook, This person missing. You don't see
Yeah.
all black girls. Come on.
That's we have
All black girls.
75,000 missing. We have 75,000 missing black girls and women in this country that don't nobody talk about.
Don't talk about them at all.
No, no, they don't
They
talk
just
about it.
sweep it up under
And
the
when you're
rug.
talking about it, and when we're talking about it as the black community, we're, showcasing our missing and our murdered. It's I hear things like, you're causing division. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that. I hate that because if we don't talk about our missing and murdered, who is?
Nobody. Nobody. If you don't take a stand for something, you will fall for anything.
That's the truth.
You have to take a stand for something,
Mm-hmm.
or else you're gonna fall for anything.
You want to fall for anything.
I will not fall for anything. And somebody have to be out here fighting for these young ladies that is
Mhm.
missing. Pass out flyers.
That's right.
Have a protest. Do a march.
Hmm.
Do not let their name go unknown.
That's right. Share the stories of our murder. Share their
Put the
flyers.
story
It's
out.
very important. It is so
Exactly.
important that we unite and we come together and we build this coalition so that we can be able to make a stand for our cause. My cause is the missing and murder all day, every day.
I see
All
that on your
day,
page.
every day. I will not
Now,
stop. I will not
I see they
stop
found their
telling their
body.
stories. And
They
fighting
found
for
that.
them and the
Yeah,
families. I would never stop. I would never stop. Because they
because you
they
know
you
why
know
you
they
will
don't
never
put enough
stop?
emphasis on it.
I'm gonna tell you why you will never stop. Even though you never walk in their shoes or walk in my shoe, you're a mother.
Mhm.
You have a
That's
heart.
right.
That could be your
That's right.
children. That could be your children.
That's
And a
right.
real woman gonna stand up for something,
Hmm.
not fall for anything.
That's right.
A real mother gonna stand up for
That's
something.
right.
And you have
You
kids self,
know,
and you just imagine, that could have been any one of my kids. You
all
know,
the time. That's how y'all am. Every time I tell these stories, last year I lost two nephews to violence, right? And
Praise God.
then just dealing with that and just dealing with all of the violence, that was going on. Last year in the District of Columbia, we lost 28 women. 28 women were murdered, okay, to violence. We had a bad year, and it's starting off to be turned out to at the beginning of this year, it's turning out bad already. All over this country, all over this country. We haven't even had 100 days in this year yet. And yet we have over 5,000 people been murdered in this country due to violence. I wish I had the solutions to this, Miss Jackson. But I know that we can't do this alone. I know that. I know we can't do this alone. It's going to take all of us coming together.
You're freezing up.
Even the people, like you said, who has not experienced losing a child. Everybody needs to come together and figure out what we can do together to try to stop this craziness because it's just getting worse and worse. I know that your son's case is still unsolved, right? Can you leave us the information if anyone has any information on your son's case? First of all, refresh our memory a little bit of where the situation happened and then give the contact information in case anyone have any leads or any information on his case.
can't hear you.
I was saying, I want you to refresh our memory a little bit about the location where your son was murdered, and then I want you to leave the contact information out there in case anybody has any leads. Did you hear me? Let me see. Let me see if I could type it in. Miss Jackson, leave the contact information where people can call if they have any needs or information on your son's case. I know I could barely hear her. It sounded like it was like fading out a little, but she's a very powerful woman, and I'm going back into the studio. I will be my new network will be Ablaze radio studio, and I will be starting this coming Tuesday, the first Tuesday in March. I'm going to leave the times. Miss Jackson will be joining me via Zoom, and we're going to talk more about her organization, A Mother's Cry, and we're also going to talk more about her son's case. As soon as I get the information on where people can leave, make a phone call if they have any leads or, any information on her son's case. I would leave that, pin that information to this live video, but this coming Tuesday, I will be having her, like I said, via Zoom, and we're going to talk more about her organization, A Mother's Cry. Okay? Thank y'all so much. I don't know what's going on. Maybe, it was the connection from all the way from Louisiana. Like I always say before, said before, my platform is your platform. And if anyone wants to tell their story of their murdered or missing loved one, please feel free to reach out, inbox me, call me. My phone number is 240-815-2904. You can give me a call and we can set up something. I will see y'all tomorrow. Like I was telling y'all earlier, I'm so excited to be getting back into the studio. I will be signing my new contract with my studio tomorrow at 12. And after I'm done, I would definitely go live. I'm going to make sure I go live from there. So, and we're going to talk more about the time and the dates. Right now, I'm looking at Tuesdays. And I'm just not sure about the time right now, but I would know all of that tomorrow once I sign the contract. I appreciate you so much, Grandma. I really do. I really do. And like I said, this is very important that we get the stories of our loved ones out, of our missing and murdered loved ones. I know a lot of times people don't want to hear it, but our cause, the fight for our murdered and missing loved ones, is just as important as any of the other ones. So We're going to keep talking about this. We're going to keep fighting for justice, and we're going to continue to hold people accountable. Our murdered and missing loved ones are just as important as any of the other murders. Okay? It's just as important. They have families attached to them that love them, that are fighting for justice, that want justice for them. They are just as important. And together, it's going to take all of us together to do this. And I mean the people, not just people who have experienced this horrible thing. Why not the people that haven't experienced this thing? Join us. Join us in this fight. It's very important. Don't think that you are exempt from this type of thing happening to, because you're not. You're not exempt from this. None of these families woke up and said to themselves, okay, my child, my grandchild, my husband, my sister, my brother is going to leave out of here, out of the house, and they're not going to come back home. Nobody, no parent says that. No parent thinks that. No grandparent thinks that. When we send our children out here in the world, we don't think that. We don't think that they're not going to make it home. We don't think that. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that this type of thing can't happen to you. Don't think that you're exempt. Okay? Stand up. You are, whether you are a mother that has children, that has never experienced this, or whether you don't have children at all. This is a club that none of these parents, none of these loved ones, none of these family members signed up for. And this is a club that you're not going to want to be a part of. Trust and believe that. So let's stand together and let's fight for justice, and also prevention, on how we can, stop these type of things from happening so much, because they're happening so much, so frequently all over this country. And there are many families suffering the horrible loss of a loved one. It's a horrible thing. It's something totally different than losing a child, due to an illness. You have time to prepare yourself for that. None of these families had time to prepare themselves for their child being murdered. It's nothing that you can prepare yourself for. Nothing. You can never prepare yourself for that. And I'm going to tell you something. The grief, the hurt, the pain, there's no time limit to it. There's many families, suffering, y'all, suffering. I talked to some of the moms and some of the grandparents who have, had heart attacks, who have been in and out of the hospitals, just trying to deal with this whole thing. This is not something that no one wants to deal with this. No